citizen whom you have sworn an oath to protect. Yes, we understand that the pay is not good enough to take you home. That you are still wearing a uniform that you bought with your own money 5 years ago is no new responsibility. We want the police to be our friends, just for you to do better. We love you and we
us on all our social media platforms on Instagram of Lagos.
The president must know that this is a bad time for our nation. We must rise to it. They are killing people in the east.
A new event. Old actors meet new ones and a fresh twist adds. And the grass suffers and the ground shakes. Take their turns on pressing issues, dissecting events as they unfold across every M on your super dial, Mainland 98.3 FM.
With you, Monday's offer and everything that defines us as a nation. Experts across different fields of our polity to talk to us and give us their opinion about how things should function and how things function on here. And that's exactly what we're about to do today. Don't forget that we're streaming. The best do well to join our live stream on Facebook and on YouTube. Where your national growth and development reliable at this time. All the projections are starting to fall apart. So aspects of our economy can we tap into with leaders across the world to see how they can buy into the need. There seems to be some challenges that are causing these investors. Well, for that discourse, I do have Ambassador Aꜰᴏ, who is the convener. As much as he's talking about music, able to talk about multiple things good. So let's talk first of all about the relationship that exists between countries that you're met with are not necessarily very pleasant. Great about Nigeria, they first have to swim through the puddle of all the things that are wrong. So what do you think the picture that the average foreigner or the average foreign investor have of Nigeria?
To our existence,
right,
as a country, and that's why, and I keep saying that we are the only ones that can truly rewrite. Stars is looking into Nigeria and thinking sometimes everyone is a fraud. But I think what in a lot of people's mindset. But as it were, also going to help, in terms of our image and what people think you have the work to do, like they say, together we have about our country.
Being someone, I mean, if you're working with the AU, it means that people are supposed to be. What sort of conversations are they having with you about Nigeria? When we take conversation that happened with Emirates Airline before it was resolved, they were not able to get their money out. With insecurity when it comes to investing in Africa and most importantly in Nigeria.
I think let me give you a bit of context,
right,
in terms of my role as African Union's 6th region. We're divided into 5 regions.
Right.
I.e., you have ECOWAS, Economic Community of
West African.
Were created a long time ago, and in 20 global diaspora. And you have 2 sets of diaspora. You have the bilateral, and you have the diaspora, as you very well know. So you have the historic, diaspora, and the historic diaspora are people with their DNA, right? They check that they realize that they have roots in it. Is the historic diaspora, the bilateral diaspora. The revenue that we're seeing, or the inflow that we're seeing from Nigerians abroad, today. For example, Americans, the more money they make, the more tax they pay.
Right.
So what they do is that they do a lot of giveaways of their money to NGOs. Now, United Return is United Nations Decade of People of African Descent, meaning every does for them to come into your country and give back, as it were, build what AU called TIF 2019. And when they open their doors, right, there's an unwritten code that United Nations advantage of such opportunities by declaring our own year of return doors to the historic diaspora. Now, if you see our president lately visiting Brazil, in Brazil, right, over 75 million people have been to Nigeria. It's really gonna help our economy. When they bring that investment, how do they take timidly? If you bring your money in through the commercial banks, you'll be issued a certificate when you remit it back to you.
Right.
So there are checks and balances in terms of laws and our minds to this global diaspora, as it were. That's a historic diaspora, because the advantage is if they're able to go to Nigeria and invest it into something, into whatever sector that is, non-oil and gas, a great deal. If you look at Ghana also last year, I think they brought Stevie Wonder, some investments. You can see new hotels springing up in Ghana. And imagine if we're able to do the same in Nigeria, what that value.
Trade does happen with foreign countries, but it's illegal, which means that or it's not like these foreigners don't bring in their investment, but they just don't do it by the books. So they don't need, trade is not happening. It's not like investment is not happening. It's just some people.
It's governance.
Right.
Right. And I think this government is trying their best to try and clean up. And also, if you look at other sectors as well, but just because you mentioned mining, there's huge potential, in our mining sphere, right? Again, that requires huge capital, right? A lot of capital. All of those. To which of the areas? I mean, like I said, the government is trying. There's agriculture, right? And that's why you need foreign direct investments. You cannot survive by yourself, to be honest, because but to do it in a more structured manner. Are some people benefiting from backdoor? Yes, but I think benefits.
Right. It's the Situation Room. I'm here having a conversation and non-oil revenue. That's what we're talking about here. And make benefit instead of taking loans, which is going to be the next line of advanced form of trade by barter, if you think about it. So we're going to talk about that, right? So first of all, what sectors do you think we need? Desert countries, forgive the informality of my terminologies, a place where it's just mostly sand and hot weather. Their route of exchange, first of all, is multifaceted. First of all, what sectors country and being indebted and paying interest do you think we should actually be targeting at this time?
West. I think China, there's a lot of value we can benefit. The lots of raw materials that, let's look at mining, for example, again, back to, for different things, i.e. for technology, we can exchange for,
tourism.
Tourism is big. Tourism is huge. And from New York. Now, that guy coming to South Africa, right? South Africa makes over 600 million rand.
Hospitality, the vendors who sell.
The local, people who get engaged.
Right.
Now, that is exactly what we're trying to create in Nigeria. If we're able to have, some basic things we need to fix.
Such as?
Secure, to that. You're talking about other countries like Dubai, like it does, to attract the kind of investment.
Focusing on while still engaging other countries for investment.
As much,
How so?
because do we have all of these exporting?
It's the only functional refinery.
Yeah, we as a country we have 5, right? And we only 5 working, right? Have all it takes to fully all our crew have. So that's why we still have to leverage, foreign direct investment to help to are able to have a balance. That's when we can say we close our door. Any means of earning forex aside from oil
crude,
and gas right now. Yeah, so that's more into the country. Imagine if that was closed. So there has to be some sort of balance, to be honest.
So what is the trade relationship that exists between Nigeria and other members of ECOWAS? And, xenophobia, etc., etc. I don't really want it to water down the essence of the conversation we're having. But if there really is no social relationship, it's hard to establish a trade relationship. But
recently, I was part of the team that organized the West African Economic Summit. I'm going to organize a proper economic summit where we can all sit down and tell more than enough before we can even think of, export it. I mean, for example, the Benin president came and said, look, the distance between 4 hours, one, because of the number of on that road, and today, all the presidents within the summit, but the focus is we have to stop e-power. What are the things we can leverage amongst ourselves to ensure?
There's another African country.
The united voice. In my own opinion, I don't think we should really have restricting trade. So some of those barriers needs to be removed to be able to improve our relationship with other African countries.
Do you specifically to the EU? And the EU said, well, these things had been preserved to export their agricultural product. They have to take it through Ghana because, again, other countries have stricter rules when dealing with Nigeria. Is that true? And if it is, What do you think gave birth, to that idea?
It's not necessarily that we have stricter rules for Nigeria. You see, the truth of the matter is that in the world out there, there are standards.
Right.
The financial sector, for example, was to start getting the banks to get certified to some standards. Same thing, Central Bank got certified. We got them certified in 2013, from World Bank and,
right.
IMF of information assets within any organization. As basic as food, what are the global standards that we need to embrace, okay? There is no hide and seek.
You have a lot on your plate. So sorry, but I need to take advantage of the little time that I sometimes is the things that we don't do. That's the problem. I know that we have certain activities, maybe not the entire country, but the desire to take advantage of everybody once you see that they are vulnerable. What sort of economic reforms can we put in your investment? I know that, for example, for Nigerians who are trying to improve that, they produce in the free trade zone, they didn't pay tax, and then they bring the economic reforms can we put in place to protect the local manufacturers, guarantee that they would get the benefit of doing business with each other. Right.
Because, there are laws and there are rules. One of tens, right?
Not necessarily, no.
So those are things, and I'm struggling with power, I'm struggling with so many things. So at the end of the day, you're competing with the local producers. So starting from governance and obeying.
And the sport, what do you think about saboteurs? Men who want to take advantage of the vulnerabilities and the loopholes that exist between, the market.
In reality, it boils down to also governance. Because
but the I know. It's hard to think.
Okay, it doesn't matter who that person is, it applies to all. And we have to get that free and fair environment where everybody can thrive.
Pᴜબ્ʟɪᴄ was my guest, convener Runway Jazz, permanent representatives to Nigeria and ECHO non-oil revenue to develop our country, especially recent trips, and that's what gave birth to this conversation. What should we expect for the program? I hope that when next year around we can segue to the next segment of the conversation. Here we'll be talking about insecurity. Yes, and I'll have a neck back in a minute.
The president must know that this is a bad time for our nation. We must rise to it.
A new day, a new event. Old actors meet new ones, and a fresh twist adds up to the old song. And the grass suffers, and the ground shakes to take their turns on pressing issues, dissecting events. Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your Super Dial.
The eyes have it.
Hello there. Remember the save lives. In times of trouble, knowing what to do and who to do you do in case. So, in case of an accident, if someone is unconscious, injured, not breathing, or even a medical emergency, 12767. Remember 112, or give your exact location, give your and phone number so the personnel can contact you if needed. Stay on the line, follow any instructions, and are punishable by law. Let's work together to make Lagos safer for everyone. Remember the number. Remember, call 7 the sound of Lagos. Stay alert, stay safe.
What's your emergency?
To shut down the National Assembly. Let's shut down. If we cannot save this country, we stay in our homes.
A new decade blows up under the sun, but when the elephants fight, right here in the Situation Room, here with concerns. Stay tuned to the Situation Room with Oꜰ Situation Room. We are all.
We had a conversation with Ambassador Aꜰᴏ. Of course, he continues to depend on crude. How can we let foreign direct investment, right? He takes this many trips, he meets with presidents across the world, and he's trying to get them to put their money in here. But if we do not solve the economy, we also need to talk about insecurity, which happens to be a factor in terms of food supply, production, distribution. Insecurity is a factor in terms of housing and development. Insecurity is a factor area. Yes, and think of it as regional insecurity, the disparities that exist between different regions and how insecurity plays in regions, and the South is one of such regions. Yes, this enforcer, and there was video that saw the suspects the recent peace talks that was done with bandits, where wanted men were seen in whatever it is. 40 people were abducted. Just their disparity. It's a very uncomfortable conversation, I should say, but we have to have that conversation. Be different when it involves other people. And so we want to talk about this. When there's insecurity in one region over the other. Again, I said this is a very, very uncomfortable. Talking to us about this very, very important conversation in some Nigerians, that the amount of how do I call it, should I call it that is given to sex, with my choice of word. Mazi Chinedu joins us now via the phone as we address this very pertinent issue. Good evening, Mazi. Thank you for your patience. This was very fast. I just reached out to you. You're the first person I thought that we have for this conversation. First of all, let's talk about claims to be some sort of enforcer for IPOB who had killed 3 boys, or hold him responsible for those murders. What is your comparison that they have drawn between how they had handled this individual, the fact that he's identifying with IPOB in relation to the peace deal that was recently had?
To you this morning and the other radio stations, and I condemn what is happening in the Southeast completely. I distance myself, and even himself is a wicked person, just like we condemn the issue of Obi of Lagos. So the Southeast has been in the news for some time now, running into 5, 6, 7 years. In the South, you have the IPOB,
yes,
you have ECN. We have ECN working for the government, or they are working for the individual interest. You see, the young man at that place and arrested him, and I think, and also condemned the killing of the 3 young boys completely. You see, the young man in question is from Iɣobɪ. Iɣobɪ is in between where the university is, and that place is a notorious place. And they have their camp with. So, and he's really Sᴛᴜᴛ. And he's an imposter. He cannot distance himself from what is happening in the Southeast, especially the killing. You are grounding the economy going to the east, or coming from Maya or from any part of the country to Sᴛᴜᴛ. And he's the one who is now terrorizing the Southeast. The information in Lagos, they say that the young come and secretly say, no, it's not what they believe. They don't believe it. What here is that they invaded and arrested him. And he's still in the custody of a senior police officer. I won't mention his name. He said they want me to talk about it. That, his name here is that this man is an imposter. He's being used by opposers. It takes 14 hours if you are traveling from here to east, 14 good hours, not because of this insecurity growing. There are some, honestly, you will spend well over 1 hour or even 45 minutes. What I kill at Omaya, just between where they call my express. 5 minutes, it took the time, military pressure in the Southeast, multiple checkpoints. Well, we're asking ourselves, why is it that the South is being, if you are traveling from here to Maya or to any part of the East, if you get to Iyala, if you are not us in the Southeast, but having said that, why we are condemning what is happening in Southeast, generally, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, in Zamfara, Katsina, where we saw on video some military, some criminals, let me use the word criminals, some bandits who can now treat some people arrested in the South with such humiliation, or whether they treat other people wickedly. Killing those of us who are elderly in justice, equity, and righteousness. We believe in equal rights. But you cannot say you are agitating for the goodness of your people, for well-being of your people. You are killing your people. That is not a sentence, not 6 years. So that is our own position. And we condemn it everywhere in the Southeast. Checkpoint. But then
around not a lot of people support the activities of IPOBs, especially since had a lot of people say that out on Monday, because we've seen reports of people who flounce the IPOB members perpetrating this evil. They think that it is some sort of notion being created so that they can further demonize the move about this belief system.
Yeah, I think I also join that school of thought.
Okay.
Life is normal. Life is normal. Each time I go to Southeast, so some of the radio and TV stations to analyze issues, oh my God. But these people who now come out on Monday, they are members of Sɪxᴛᴜ, including this man that killed this young man. They are the one now hiding under the influence of bad name they've given to IPOB. Bad name given the governor of Imo State, Senator people. They are killing. Those killing them are criminals. Not actually. It's just like you want to criminality. But you say you are detecting. Are you Jacob?
We're still here having a conversation about insecurity, especially in sharp contrasts have been drawn about how these security agents to clamp down on those who are committed. Let's talk about the calls for amnesty. And again, it's not an interesting, or by interesting, I mean just because it's not a comfortable conversation to talk individuals back into society. In fact, there are some they claim to have dropped their arms. The conversation is, why is it that are perpetrating this evil in the Southeast? Why are you not calling them in for militarization to quell the storm in the Southeast whilst offering something that others consider goodies to those who are perpetrating the same evil?
Equity, justice, and righteousness. Treat me as you treat others. That's what this question is to be answered by those in authority. And begged him to release Nnamdi Kanu and to grant him, moment he's released, insecurity in the South will be a thing of the past. Yet nobody has that. Even the bandits, their commanders were seen parading dressed in the military uniform, integrating with people, rejoicing, eating with them, dining and whining. The bandits and all that insecurity, they denied it. But then, let me tell you, what you are holding on your palm, you don't try the security apparatus. Try the military, they are the informant. The question is this. Why let me be friendly, that what is happening in South is about insecurity. That let it be transparent. Let it not be one-sided. We fought war. Those of us who fought war, at the end of it, they said there's no victor, there's no vanquish. It's like a prisoner of war. And it's something like that. Is what, for those of us elderly people, we overlook everybody equal. If you have given amnesty to these people who have committed even more than grievous offenses, there's a disagreement. You come, the other people will come, sit down on a roundtable conference. Something happened in the Southeast. The military is asked to invade that place. But if it happens in the North, they are being said they prefer to go to Abuja than coming to Lagos. On the way to Abuja, there are 3 checkpoints. Let me be specific. You see, when you pass from Onitsha, you get to Mbidi, they are not again. You don't find them on the road. But in the morning, that is why it takes 14 hours to go to the east. So others, every region should be treated equally. But when
roles that leaders of the region are playing, a lot of northern leaders to see eye to eye maybe and find a way to resolve the issue. Would you say that southeastern political stakeholders might be handling this issue, call for a political solution, especially when it comes to Nnamdi Kanu, but the way to ensure the escalation of the conflict? Or do you think their inaction is probably
interest? That's what you see. When you get people who are selfish, self-centered, former president was there were representations from the South, leaders of thought, they led the Lord. And at the same time, But you may say that they are not loud, but then people are fighting themselves. Soludo is fighting Pᴜબ્ᴜ, and since all of them, they are tactics, and it's not helping matter. I agree with you. If there has been collective understanding, speaking in one voice, current president, as he listened to the voice of reason, and said, okay, now it is like that. I mean, otherwise, okay, what about? I think Nnamdi was discharged by Court of Appeal, but the government in place refused because they don't want. They now appeal to the Supreme Court partially. See, you can't build something out of nothing. Our leaders in the Southeast, some of them are after themselves. Let me balance it. They are after themselves, Sean, trying to see how peace will return in the Southeast.
As the final question, because we have to open the phone line so people can say something about the conversation we've been having. What steps must we now take to ensure justice? It's not just for the victims of these violence, right? But for the intra-conflicts, people fighting, how we do. First, to stop those who have taken elements to handle these issues. What do you expect of Southeastern leaders that are close to the presidency? What do you expect of them? And what are the step-by-step situations that we need to put in place to ensure that peace and sanity is restored to the southeastern part of...
Who are not after themselves, who are not after 2027 and thereafter. The best thing is for them to go back and they discuss with what is happening to continue to escalate. Justice will be done. One, you cannot have. I stand. The government at the center should listen to the appeals of the people, and my people, including the presentation to the federal government was again. Let the whole world see it that they've now gone. Then let governors be sincere because of the election coming on the 2022, 2027, and the thereafter. But until when such a thing is done, what is happening, what is crying, will be crying. They got it wrong. Go back to the federal government. And federal government, let their land, because the South is being marginalized, one, being mistreated, two, there's genuine reconciliation. I recommend genuine understanding. And South is another place. But the moment Nnamdi Kanu is left there, the moment they to commit evil, that is what is. I think December is coming. How can we be to move about? It's unfortunate. The government show genuineness of understanding, genuineness in accepting the plea and the reconciliation mood, and our leaders also is restoring the Southeast.
Mazi Chinedum, thank you so very much for your time. You have a great evening. We would pause on the question and answer so that we can get feedback. Thank you once again.
Great management to Mainland is my home.
Well,
God bless you.
Thank you so much. So nice to hear that. So let's hear from you. We've had quite the conversation evening. First, we spoke about the that we had earlier in the day, and we're lucky enough to have an ambassador join us for that particular conversation. Ambassador Aꜰᴏ. He is the Bioha about insecurity in the southeastern part of Nigeria, how to quell that insecurity, the operation of our security agencies, the activities of Southeast in comparison to what is happening in other regions of the country. And Mazi Chinedum joined us for that discussion, so we'd like to hear your submission on these two issues. 0913600410. That's the number to call. WhatsApp is available for you, especially our...
Sage, good evening.
Yes,
my name is Robert.
Welcome.
Sage, let me speak about this insecurity in the Southeast.
Okay.
This man that was arrested, Tᴜɪᴜnᴜ, I believe that this man has been arrested. Somebody called, said they want to see him. People, we heard his voice. When he killed those 3 people. And it's not something that maybe tomorrow now the federal government will want to watch it. There's a video surface online that I watched where this man was calling the Imo State governor, is it that the government hand is in the what is going on in the east? That is why what fasting is arrest? These are questions that we are.
That's right. So let's wait for an official statement. The only thing they've told us is that he's been arrested. recent crime that he's suspected of committing is the murder of 3 boys, the one that was filmed on circuit.
Hello, good afternoon. Good evening.
Good evening to you, sir.
Investment is non-negotiable. It's very important. But before we can direct foreign investment, we need to it's not in good shape because of the cost of living. So an infrastructural development be considered before we think of direct foreign investment that will pay off for both Nigerian airlines airport issue. Well, so if the government have interest, if we want to possess, it's dragging the situation back by the elders in Igbo land, as if we don't like the South make a nation great, and our leaders should shoot for that.
Thank you very much for calling. Have a wonderful.
Yeah, what about my friend?
He's doing great.
Yes, on the issue of insecurity in Nigeria, insecurity in Nigeria is insincerity. Security begets insecurity. You know, the president is going all over the world looking for our foreign investment. Who is going to come and invest in a place where there is no security? For instance, this emergency rule in Rivers State by the Bola-led government. That is impunity, democracy, and it is not acceptable. You know, in a state and remove the state government. We're not going to live in this country.
Facebook, we have Bernard Ohi who says, it is commendable the arrest of Jᴏɪᴜ. Peace is absolutely uncalled for. Benjamin Ise on Facebook too says, good evening, Sage. The is on oil because to them it is the easier way of earning foreign currency. Many others have abandoned this practice, especially phone call. Hello. Okay, turn up the volume on your radio. Hello.
Okay. About. I think one voice. We need to unite. It's costing us a lot, even in the national. It's costing us a lot. Igbos are the only tribe that easily integrates. Go to every. We need to come back and reunite. Speak with one voice, so that our voice will be heard. Okay, and ones that are giving us that bad name, we need to take them away. We should make the effort and make sure that the government helps us to take those boys out. We don't want a negotiation. They should go away from us because they don't portray
the volume.
Good evening.
Good evening to you. Welcome.
Yes. It's difficult. They are real investors. They're going to put brick and mortar country. So they consider it a lot before they come. So if President Tinubu is going about, some of them, they were not able to do it. So if you find companies coming here, Chinese, Japanese coming here, it's a big job because we are not the only one in the world. And for direct investment is very costly. It's because when they come and bring this thing, they just remove is to help themselves from this supremacy thing, Igbo supremacy. They should think about it.
Good evening. Good evening to you. Welcome. It's okay. It's fine.
So don't pardon me.
Oh no, we don't have a problem. People, it's okay. You forgot. It's fine.
What mass will be accepted. When we talk on the Southeast, I want them to speak to one voice. Even though mass is saying one thing, especially those especially you have 3 political parties really. You have 3 political parties really display. You have Africa, that is school is because in the Southeast. And if you have, for me, for Kano, the matter can be settled politically. But whenever anyone wants to help, it's different between, please, I need this for you.
Appealing to who exactly? Who should they appeal to? They should use an appealing tone. Who appeal to?
No, the matter of freedom. The government, they have to have
of the should go and appeal to the president rather than demand.
talk for him, the Kanu.
Okay. Chance. You have a great evening. Thank you for calling. I'll take one more phone call and I'll just finish with messages. Okay. So if you'd like to call now, it'll be 3600430. Our last call for the evening. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
How this Southeast issue on see that this is where I like as the matter goes on PD. The action step is called PD. How security is supposed to be. So all this killing. I think it is human beings that be wasted. The law enforcement is supposed to do diligence work. Even if it's too early to say security issue all over the nation, because the way in this nation, totally in this nation, is what the president can achieve at his first tenure. I think we can give him a kudos. You tell me now that it's too difficult for security that to catch this man, cannot go and catch a 20 bed. And our Christopher Musa supposed to stop that. What do they call it? That disqualification. I mean, what they call it. That thing is not to appear to stop. So let the president talk about security all over, not only on Southeast. So to be all.
Finish this with messages. We have good evening, Nigerians. I'm Ezelu from Abesoa State. To me, maximum Igbo language, my heart desire. As for the multiple roadblocks, no cause for alarm as far as someone has nothing implicating among the vehicle passengers. Above all, I plead with the government to establish peace in the whole country. All right. Good evening and good people. I'm a Kenyan that kills herdsmen or terrorists who government declared revolt killers of innocent people. I think that Sheikh should tell us what is going on, but I'm not happy with what is happening because why the Igbo Southeast have been arrested and nobody will talk about him. See what is being mounted on Nnamdi Kanu. Nigerians should be careful. We have here, hello mainland FM. Let's call a spade a spade. Foreign investment should remain of money in a business and watch the business is destroyed. My advice, primary responsibility on the insecurity in the southeast, in my own view, I think has contributed more to the living crisis, a situation where government is negotiating with bandits and deploying military troops to lead the rule of law, since practicing a democracy, and by doing so, thank you so much for going along with us from 4 p.m. up until this very moment. We need to start cluster by 7 p.m. to 7:45, and the conversation if it's something you'd like to talk about, yes. And we would have Kemisola Murayo from 9 p.m.